Hey everybody, here's my weather recording for you tonight. It's about 8:45 Eastern Time on Wednesday, the 2nd of August, and I had posted earlier that starting to see some signs that Sunday we may run into some bigger storms. So I want to do a post solely on what I see so far for Sunday, and keep in mind it's 4 days away, so things are going to change a little bit. We're going to have to tweak some things, and but I just want to kind of give you a little heads up of what we're looking at. So this is the surface map for Sunday morning, and we have a warm front coming through this area, and then we'll go into what's called the warm sector. It'll be warm and humid, and then you see the cold front on the backside, which will swing in here, and the timing on when that cold front comes in could be critical on when we may or may not see some bigger storms. I think we could see some early with the warm front, some showers and storms. Some of those might produce a little hail late Saturday night, Sunday morning, but it'd be the later Sunday time period that we're kind of watching. So that's our map for Sunday morning. That's kind of why I'm posting this, because it kind of puts us in a, an unstable atmosphere. So let's talk about that. I've talked about CAPE before. This is the convective available potential energy, or storm energy. This is projected for about 4 o'clock on Sunday. The CAPE values are not way high. I think this is more of a case of, and I'm going to talk about this, where the wind aloft is fairly strong, and so wind would be our main issue with these storms. But the CAPE values are, that's not really impressive. Now, the CAPE values do go up a little bit later after that. This is one thing I look at, and I post this on some of my social media pages. This is one of the severe weather outlooks for Sunday, and it does have us in a risk area. I don't have them on here, but the risk is mostly wind, again, for the day on Sunday. And you can kind of see this is European model forecast for about 4 a.m. on Monday. And you can see way up there in Wisconsin, the area of low pressure. That's 997 millibars. Those of you are probably more used to inches of mercury when we talk about the barometer. That'd be about 29.44. That's pretty strong area of low pressure. And because of that, I think the wind is also going to be kind of wound up around that. So again, Sunday late, low pressure comes in across probably Wisconsin and has us in that warm sector. And not only the warm sector, but there'll be a lot of moisture to work with. What you're looking at are dew points projected for 7 p.m. on Sunday. We're talking dew points in the mid-70s. I mean, that's a lot of moisture out there. And the temperatures are going to be pretty warm as well. So we got dew points in the 70s. Here's another forecast for the dew points. This is 4 p.m. on Sunday. And again, this has got dew points somewhere in the upper 60s to low 70s on a different model. So a lot of moisture out there available as we head into Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. And the temperatures are going to be warm as well. These are forecast temperatures for around 4 p.m. on Sunday. Pretty close to 90. So we're talking near 90. With dew points in the 70s. So, you got a lot of, heat energy and moisture in the atmosphere to work with. So now what we're looking at, I'm coming back to another one of these instability things. This is the lifted index. Now, the CAPE values were not way high, but the lifted index, which tells us also about how unstable the air is. If the air starts to rise, if this lifted index is fairly low, the air will tend to rise pretty easily, and these numbers are pretty low actually. On the lifted index, it's low. So this would indicate that if air starts to rise, if that cold front comes in and starts to cause that air mass to rise, that air mass, that parcels of air will probably keep rising because the lifted index is pretty low. This is forecast for about 1 p.m. on Sunday. This is the same model forecasting CAPE values, again, not sky high, but there's energy in the atmosphere to work with. This is lifted index for 4 p.m. Now, I want to show you that we see the lowest lifted indexes later in the day are centered more northeast of here, eastern Indiana, northeastern Indiana, Ohio. Again, this is going to change a little bit between now and then, but it does show a little bit more of the lifted indexes at a lower value northeast of here. The thing I really want to focus on, though, is I think there's going to be some wind aloft to work with these storms. What you're looking at here are the wind speeds. This is above the surface, but not by a whole lot. We call it 700 millibars, but it's above the surface, and you can see the low there coming out of northern Iowa and some pretty good wind. This is projected for 7 p.m. on Sunday. This is coming out of Kansas into Missouri and western Illinois. This is the same height level, what we call 700 millibars. This is forecast for 7 a.m. on Monday. So this is the overnight period of Sunday night, and I can kind of zoom in for you. I mean, it's right over this area. Now again, timing is going to be something. If the storms come through here, say between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m., they have a greater chance of being stronger than if they come through at 6 in the morning. So again, a lot of this is going to be the timing issue. But the wind aloft is pretty strong with this, and we have strong winds. It can help to fuel the storms, to ventilate the atmosphere. And in this case, those winds aloft over this area are about 70 miles per hour. Now, that's not at the ground. That's up ahead, but that would be quite a bit of wind associated with this system. So, a couple last things I want to show you. This is the European model, and this is a forecast of where it believes there will be lightning at a certain time. This time here would be at about 10 p.m. Eastern time, and a line of storms clearly from Chicago to Springfield, Illinois, and they would be moving southeast. Again, this is about 10 p.m. or so forecast. But now watch, if we go from there to this one, notice the line weakens, because again, if it comes through overnight, they will tend to weaken. This is around midnight to 1 a.m. Sunday night, getting into early Monday morning. So the timing is going to be something we'll have to look at, but we still have some pretty good storms, it looks like, even by midnight. One last thing I'm going to show you, and I don't want to concentrate on the fact that I'm saying there's going to be tornadoes. As a matter of fact, this setup does not look favorable for a tornado. This looks more favorable for wind and maybe some hail, but wind would be the biggest concern. But I'm going to show you this because I want to show you when I think the storms would peak as they go through this area. So let's go and let this fast forward until we get to the upcoming weekend, and we'll go through some stops here. So Sunday at about 10 p.m., that's that line of storms coming in. Now again, that's probably where the peak of the storms would be, about 10 p.m. on Sunday. Here's about midnight Sunday night. Again, entering this area, and then about 2:30 in the morning coming through. So right now, our thinking is they may come through during the darkness hours of Sunday night into the early morning hours of Monday, and then would move on out. This is 9:30 in the morning on Monday. Again, lots of things are going to change between now and then. The point is this. We see a storm that looks pretty dynamic with the wind. There's enough instability and enough storm energy that it's probably going to generate some severe weather somewhere here in the Ohio Valley. But the exact timing and exact placement of all that, 4 days away, it would be totally impossible to predict that. The point is, it's something that caught my eye today, and I just want to give all of you a heads up that we got to watch Sunday. Right now, probably later in the day, maybe some severe weather in the area. And of course, I'll keep you up to date as we get closer. But we do, by the way, have some rain and storms tonight, which is Wednesday night into Thursday. And some of that could be some heavy rain in the southern and southwestern areas. And then Friday looks pretty good. Saturday looks pretty good. And then, of course, I just did the whole video on Sunday. But Sunday is kind of my focus time period that we're looking at. And of course, more updates as we get closer.